All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown. All three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I am going to be reviewing book number 2 in the Live Ship Traders series by Robin Hobb, and this one is called Mad Ship. Now, I reviewed book number 1, Ship of Magic, earlier this month. If you want to watch that review, go ahead and type in Ship of Magic, my last name Durfee, type those words directly into your YouTube search bar, and that video review will magically appear upon your television screen, computer screen, maybe even your phone if that's what you're using. That is how the internet works. Anyway, we are reading and reviewing the entire trilogy. Now, I did read these books originally when they came out. I mean, this one came out in 1999. I read it then. I have not read it since. I do remember this trilogy being my favorite of the Robin Hobb books. I have all of the Robin Hobb Realm of the Elderlings novels. There's a lot of them, and this is my favorite trilogy by far. And I'm telling you, rereading these books has been an absolute delight. I have loved every second of it. They're just fantasy literary masterpieces. So let's talk about the cover first, because you know I love graphic design and cover illustration. Now, back in the late 90s when the original versions came out, they had covers by Steve Ewell or Paul Ewell, I can't remember, but they were good covers. But then they redid the covers, and I kind of like the newer versions a little bit better, so I bought I replaced my old set with the new set, and that's cool. And the covers are done by a artist named Didier Graffet, and Mad Ship looks really cool. I love the how the illustration is silhouetted against the white background, and how it kind of bleeds in from the top down. And each book has a similar theme to it, and they all spine out look great on the shelf. It's just a wonderful set. And I think that's partly why I did buy this new set, is because the spines all matched. I think the original set, the spines had different designs. But anyway, that's just me and my OCD talking, people. Okay, again, let's talk about book 2. So it's about these sentient wizard wood ships that can magically bond with those people who sail upon them. And they'll usually bond with a specific person. And the masthead of the ship is the part of the ship that is kind of human-like. You know what mastheads are on big ships. Sometimes they're mermaids or warriors or Viking warriors or something. They're just something, but they can talk to the humans they sail on. And they've got a living... Let's just say the ships are living, breathing creatures and characters in and of themselves. This book, just like book number 1, and I mentioned this in my review of book number 1, starts with a prologue involving talking sea serpents. Again, normally something like that would turn me straight off of a book. I don't like books with talking animals. Talking ships, all right, I'll give you that. But talking animals, I don't know why, but it's just one of my pet peeves. And so when we get chapters just with the sea serpents talking to each other, I'm like, normally I wouldn't finish the book. However, knowing that these are Robin Hobb books, and she's one of my favorite writers, and I know that her writing is gorgeous and beautiful, effortlessly brilliant, I carry on because I know that the entire book isn't going to be about talking sea serpents. And it's not. It's 99% about other stuff that is cool. Now, some of you might think the talking sea serpents are cool. That's fine if that's what you're into. I could skip it. But anyway, that's just a tiny little bit of... What happens is we open with that scene, then we jump to a scene with Amber, who's one of our main characters from book 1. Now she's in book 2. And the ship Paragon. Now, the ship Paragon, like I said, these ships have personalities. This ship has been disgraced, and I won't tell you why. I'm not going to spoilery plot that one. But it's been disgraced, and it wants to die. And it wants Amber to burn it as kind of a suicide, because it can't kill itself. So it's trying to convince Amber to burn it. And it's about suicide. And so right off the bat, we're talking about some deep subjects of not only ships that can talk, but ships that no longer want to live. And it's kind of heartbreaking in a way. But that's the brilliance of what Robin Hobb is doing with these stories, is she's taking you in directions that I just was not expecting. To open up with a suicidal ship. I mean, I'm an author myself, and that's going out on a limb. That's going out on a limb. But it's a limb that we want to go out on because it adds so much depth, personality, and invests the reader so much into these characters. And that's the thing that Robin Hobb does better than a lot of authors, not just in the fantasy genre, but just in general, is the characters are so well fleshed out. So there's another ship, Vivacia, and this ship is now a slave ship, which is another kind of disgrace. Run by the pirate Kennet. Now, the pirate Kennet, probably one of my favorite characters. I don't know why I like this guy, but I do, even though he's probably, I don't know if you could really call him the antagonist at this point. But anyway, he is a pirate. He has captured this Vivacia ship that once belonged to a family. And the family that it belonged to, the young boy Wintrow is a hostage on this ship, along with his father. So we've got the pirate Kennet that has taken over the slave ship. We've got the slave guy, Adar, who's a former slave, and he kind of wants to he kind of wants to take over leadership of the ship from Kennet because Kennet has some problems. Kennet is missing a leg. I mean, every pirate needs to be missing a leg. He's missing a leg. He's got some issues, Kennet, this guy Kennet. And so we've got this battle for this ship, Vivacia, this slave ship, and we've got hostages being held on at Wintrow. And Wintrow is another one of my favorite characters. They're all my favorites, really. But he was just kind of like, he had plans as a boy of just growing up and living in the monastery and just being kind of a religious guy in the monastery. That's all he dreamed of. And now but his family kind of thrust him out into these oceanic adventures, kind of against his will, in the first book. And now he's out here dealing with a lot of stuff, dealing with a lot of trauma, going through a lot of things that are causing him post-traumatic stress, having to make bargains with people that he doesn't want to make bargains with. And once again, we get into the nitty-gritty of what life is like out on the open sea in something like a pirate ship. And even though the pirate ship can communicate with people, the pirate ship itself doesn't have a whole lot of power. It kind of has to go with the whims of whatever its captain is. And we get just once again the grim horror of life at sea, when things go wrong at sea, how there's no help for anybody. If you have to do medical procedures at sea, they can be just gruesome and horrific. And Robin Hobb walks us through all of that, almost to the degree that Diana Gabaldon would do in the Outlander series. You know, Diana Gabaldon had a lot of the medieval surgery into her, medieval medicine in her books, and we get a lot of that in this too. We've also got two other characters, which is Alethea. No, not Alethea. That can't be it. Althea and Brashen, and they are trying to take back Vivacia. They want to take back Vivacia. Althea believes that Vivacia has been her ship ever since she was born. And that's the thing, is this is a pirate adventure. It's a fantasy adventure. It's a quest adventure. There's magic. There's magic talismans. There's magic boats. There's talking sea serpents. And above all that, it's just an emotional story with the dramatic climax involving all the creatures that I mentioned, plus others, plus dragons. But above all else, above everything, the reason we love this series is it's a family drama. Because this family is torn apart in so many different ways. We've got people that are held hostage by pirates. We got people that want to take back the ships that they believe are theirs. And the family doesn't always agree with each other. They're at odds themselves. Again, another 10 out of 10. It's almost like I think when I do my top 10 reads of 2023, each one of these books might be on that. In fact, I might just be like, okay, let's just do the Live Ship Traders trilogy as one of my top 10 reads, because it's seriously been one of my, I mean, I've enjoyed this. It's probably most I just like it. I fucking love rereading these books. I did not realize I knew they were good. I read them the first time 23 years ago. I knew they were good. I just didn't remember how fucking good they are. 10 out of 10 for Mad Ship, and then we will be reviewing Ship of Destiny probably in a few weeks. So look forward to that.